This video is sponsored by ExpressVPN. So how are you supposed to keep toys away from your graffiti and make sure that they don't cap you? Getting gone over can be a huge problem with some graffiti writers, and these are the top 5 ways that you can make sure your graffiti stays intact, doesn't get crossed out, gone over, capped, side busted, any of that nonsense. The first 4 ways are in no order in particular, but the 5th and final way, or the top way, is by far the most important thing you can do to keep toys away from your graffiti. So let's get right into it. Now, something else you're going to want to keep toys away from is your bank details. Wait, what am I talking about? Today's sponsor, ExpressVPN. Fun fact, when you surf the internet, anyone can see what you're doing and could steal your personal information, and yes, even your bank details. I bet you didn't know that even your internet service provider can see everything you do at home on the internet. With ExpressVPN, that doesn't happen. All of your information is encrypted through their secure servers, and you can do that with their app by pressing a single button. It's pretty nifty. Personally, the thing I like about ExpressVPN is using it to change your country's IP address to unblock content. If you're like me and you live in a country like Canada, well, our Netflix doesn't really have all that much on it. So go to ExpressVPN's app, change your country to say the USA, and bam, all of a sudden you have way more shows to choose from. This is great if you stream sports at all. That might not be available in every country. And because ExpressVPN has sponsored us here today, they're giving everyone 3 months free of ExpressVPN to try out. All you have to do is go to my link below to sign up. But now that you know how to keep the toys away from your personal information, let's make sure they stay away from your graffiti. Number 1, the first way you can protect your graffiti is be up a lot. Now that might sound obvious, but it works for more than one reason. Obviously, if you have stuff up everywhere, some dumb toy can't come along and ruin your whole life by covering 1 or 2 tags. The more you're up, the more work they have to do to make you less visible. But that's just looking at it from the sheer numbers. The second and probably more important way that this method protects your graffiti is that the more ups you have in your city, the more likely it is that you're a highly respected graffiti writer in the first place, and you won't get capped. Makes sense, right? Number 2. Now this is another sort of obvious one, I hope, for everyone, but it's simply that you have to use good supplies. And no, I'm not talking about the most expensive supplies on the market. I'm simply talking about supplies that are permanent and are going to last. Whenever I do a paint review here on the channel, the number 1 comment that has a concern tied to it is, well, is this paint gonna last over time in the weather? And that's what I'm saying here. You at least have to be using supplies that you know are weatherproof. Go figure, right? Number 3. Now this one goes hand in hand with the last one, and it's simply choose your spots wisely. Now a little while ago we made a video about the top 5 places to do graffiti so that it lasts. I'll link that video on screen in the corner in the description if you want to check it out. But to sum the point of it up for everyone, the harder a spot is to paint, the more effort it would take another writer to come and jack your spot. So choose your spots wisely. And this is why I said it goes hand in hand with the last way of protecting your graffiti, using permanent supplies. If you're painting a spot that's hard enough for other writers, let alone buffers, to get to, that it's going to be riding for a while, the last thing you want is for weathering to finally bring the piece down. That would just be sad. That would be like someone doing all the training and hard work to finally be able to win a UFC heavyweight title and then choking on a raisin and dying. It's simply just not how you want to go out, and similarly, weathering is not how you want one of your pieces to go out if you did all the hard work to get up to, say, a heaven spot to paint it in the first place. I hope that analogy makes sense. Number 2. Number 2 is something that unfortunately can't be accomplished overnight, and that's because it has to do with the principle that good styles get respect. Translation: if you don't want other graffiti artists jacking your spots, going over you, or just plain messing with you, then work hard, develop your style, practice lots, which can also mean get up lots, and create a dope style. This tip is sort of nice because it can be applied to real graffiti that can happen obviously anywhere and everywhere, but it can also even be applied to free wall principles. If you're at a free wall, usually, in my case at least, I just paint over the worst piece there, to be blunt about it. So if you have a dope style, your pieces are going to ride longer even at free wall spots. Number 1. I hope that most of you already know the number 1 way to protect your graffiti from toys and other graffiti writers. In fact, if you have a guess and you feel your guess is worthy of being in the number 1 spot and you're confident about it, feel free to leave it in the comments. I would love to read what everyone has to say. But the number 1 way to protect your graffiti is don't beef with other writers. And honestly, it's really not that hard. And I know there's always going to be people out there that insist that beefing is part of graffiti, just like there's always going to be those half-wits out there that insist that graffiti isn't a form of art as well. But if you're not beefing with anybody, people just don't have a reason to cross out your pieces, your throws, go over your tags, or anything like that, really. So I'm just gonna leave that contentious topic hanging in the air for everyone. Do what you want with that. Did I miss any crucial ways, though, of protecting your graffiti? Let me know in the comments. But if you are looking for the top places to do graffiti so that it lasts, that is the video I referenced earlier. It's on screen for you to check out. That's gonna be the video you'll want to check out right now. I hope to see you over there. Don't forget to use my personal link below to get 3 months free of ExpressVPN. I'll see you over there.